You may recognize this plant as watermelon peperomia, otherwise known as Peperomia argyreia. This is actually native to Brazil, and it's become a popular cultivated species. Actually, a lot of people have written in and said they can't actually find it in their garden centers and nurseries, and I do find that it's only available for part of the year as opposed to a plant that you could find all the time during the growing season. However, I think one of the things that you'll notice with this particular plant, if I could show you the back of the leaves, are these brown markings. Now, I made the mistake of having this in my window during the winter, and I have really blustery windows. It gets extremely cold. And I think what happened to this particular plant is that it damaged the back of the leaves. So this plant is much more of a subtropical and tropical species, so it doesn't want to be cold. But I've kept on to it because if you could see the face of these leaves, it's not really that damaged. And because it has this kind of semi-succulent leaf, you can't see the damage necessarily through the leaf. So I think that this is still a beautiful specimen that I've had and have kept now for about 2 years. I have, however, lost watermelon peperomia in the past, and I think that's for a couple different reasons. One is sometimes you make the mistake when it's semi-succulent to put it in higher light conditions, which this plant does not like. Most peperomia want to be in a diffuse light, so you could go bright diffuse, but a moderate light to even partial shade is going to be good for some peperomia. The semi-succulent nature more or less means that it has the ability to keep on to its water, and a lot of these plants actually grow epiphytically, so that means like on a tree or maybe on some stones or and some rocky crags. And the root structure for most peperomia are not really extensive, so if you overwater peperomia, they're going to be sitting in water and you're going to invite some more root rot. Now I have this plant actually in my kitchen. It's underneath other leaves and it's underneath a light that is actually not a grow light, but it's just a regular incandescent bulb. And it's also near a northeast facing window. So it's just getting a lot of ambient light. And I think that plant actually enjoys that. And as far as watering goes, I'm watering it in relation to the light that I'm giving it. So I would say that I'm watering this about once a week, if that's actually helpful to you. As far as fertilizing goes, you could actually get away with doing it on a bi-weekly basis or even a monthly basis if you're going with a well-balanced fertilizer. So you could go with a well-balanced organic fertilizer or a synthetic fertilizer. But if you go with a synthetic fertilizer, just be sure to cut it in half because over-fertilizing a plant can actually damage or even kill the plant. As far as pest pressures go, I haven't had any problem with this particular species. So I have had no scale, no mealybugs, no thrips, but like I said, it doesn't do really well in cold, so I would just be mindful of that. Also, you'll notice I have this actually in a cache pot and it's in regular nursery pot. And that's only because I've actually lost this particular plant multiple times and I wouldn't want to actually lose it again. If you're going to propagate this plant, make sure you use a really healthy leaf and you get part of the petiole, which is the stem that attaches to the leaf blade, and this plant will propagate on the ready.